So over the course of Scarlet and Violet, Mega Evolution, Sun and Moon, and all of the previous evolutions, the promos have got bigger, they've got better, and they've got a lot of different variations. So if you are somebody that personally likes a promo card, if you like to collect them, because it's quite nice to go through them and just as like a quick look across, when you look at like from kind of like the very first set, so with this they're in high to low order, but if you was, how would you get it? If you was to go in actual order of the Pokemon, we could see it slowly going through the set. Like I remember Arcanine coming out at the very start of Scarlet and Violet. I remember when Crocalor came out during Paldea of Fates, when obviously I can't remember this one. Was that in normal Scarlet and Violet? That was in, like, I want to say around, like, Twilight, or I think that could have been Shrouded Fable. So it takes you across the journey of that era, which I think is what I really like about promo cards. Now, the one thing that I want to go over today, and more than likely going forward in the future, if we don't necessarily cover this base again, I kind of want to go through a few of the low ones as well. Because the big thing is, when you get to the really top cards, there's variations that just don't make sense. And to be honest, it's kind of like a nice bonus for people that collect and the people that just want to invest and make money out of the cards, because you do have the chance of obviously having these promo card runs. I think I swear there's a channel that does like promo FOMO or something. It was a really cool idea, but in general you have a lot of people that just want to kind of like buy 500. I think someone bought like 750 of one promo card once, and then they go up. And obviously then we've seen the Gengar with the GameStop stamp on it. That's like $75 that it was a free card. So you are interested to see, and more than likely you could see a Sylveon with a Prismatic Evolution stamp and its staff release or something. And suddenly it goes from a $2 card, a £1 card at max, to like 50 quid. And it just doesn't make sense. So if you are looking for a lot of these cheaper holos, cheaper EXs, cheaper cards, there is the variations, and we're going to talk about it. Obviously with these, the year graph is not really going to do much. You're going from 8, which to be fair is a solid value, but for most of the year we've kind of been just chilling around the £1 or £2 mark. Most of Cosmo holos, unless they are exclusive, stamped, just near close to being robbed off everybody of the street, they are going to be £1, £2, maybe 5 at max, and that is really stretching the boat out. So I do like being able to collect them. And then you also have the promo cards from ETBs. You have the promo cards from many different like tech stickers. Sometimes they are just Cosmos as well, but sometimes you'll get like the kind of like, I think this was a tech sticker, but it was an actual promo as well. So you've kind of got the best of both there. And again, it's relatively cheap. You will see some promo cards here, like King Gambit, to be honest, is an interesting one. He was from the Shrouded Fable lot. There was King Gambit, there was Kingdra, and there was Greninja. They were the main 3 coming in the box, or the boxes, that you could get through Shrouded Fable. There was also an ETB, which eludes me which one it was. I want to know, Teal Mask Ogerpon might have been Twilight. It could have been that Peacheron, to whatever you pronounce the name. It could have been that as the Shrouded Fable kind of promo card. I actually don't remember. I've got it in my binder, but this is an interesting one because, as you'll see, like we did have a little bit of hype for it, but realistically he's still just chilling. So a very nice artwork. It is a full art. It's an illustration rare. And like we can get it for like £3. It's brilliant to be able to get the cards like that, because then you can see some of the gold border or the rainbow borders. Again, nothing crazy. Like these are not the meant to be wowing factors of kind of cards in themselves. These are nice and cheap, affordable. They are absolutely there. Now obviously the Pokemon Center ETBs are going to be the big hitters. They're going to be the ones that really show the value. You will see maybe some of these do go up like £1 or £2, but it's never anything that crazy. Like realistically, what I would do as a promo collector as well is try and get a lot of these cheaper ones out the way. Don't worry about the staff promo or kind of like the previous, as long as you've got the promo sticker here and it's 163 and it doesn't need anything else, absolutely golden. And you'll see the same for a lot of these. Like again, you've got it was in the stage of like a Journey Together Destined Rivals. You had Cynthia's Garchomp. You had quite a few coming out here that were decent enough that came in like £15 to £40 boxes, or kind of like well, they're like not necessarily ultra premium collection, but like normal collection boxes themselves, and they started off like a little bit more on the hyper side, as you see, like £7-8. You know, when it comes to a card like this, if it's not like a Pokemon Center ETB card, if it's not a staff promo, you know it's going to hit like a good floor at some point. So that is always a good way to go by. Then the interesting part that we kind of wanted to see is the fact that we do have like the Scarlet and Violet cards, and I was interested to see, have they even really moved at all? Just because they are standard, like obviously the ETB for Scarlet and Violet has been, even in the market crash of sorts with obviously like this past year, I believe there was a point before the crash really went nuts with like after Destined Rivals, but I think it was before Mega Evolution came out. Scarlet and Violet ETBs were everywhere. Like, they were one of the products you could actually get. It's just that you didn't really want it because it was Scarlet and Violet based. Now, obviously, you look at it a bit different. But I was interested to see where these cards are. To be honest, they don't really move, to be fair. Like, you've got a few of these. Like, obviously, you might see some that are not necessarily that old. You see some that are a little bit more old, and they've kind of been going on the up and down. We even see a Charizard here, like, and this is the kind of the factor. Like, you've got a Charizard. I know it's an EX, so I suppose it's a little bit different, but you obviously still have that at $3 to $5 at an absolute max. Again, it's going to be a very easy one to get. I don't know what that one is, so we can't do that one. Lapras EX obviously coming in with a gold. Again, a little bit of value. Nothing really too crazy. We've obviously come down from a peak. So even if, again, you look at these sorts of cards, they might have a little bit of a turnaround, but realistically, they will hit some sort of level, come down, and constantly do this. Now, these were the ones that I was always interested in. The ones of more of a fan favorite set, and then also kind of like the fan favorite artwork more than anything. And to be honest, it's not really done as well as you imagine. Like, yes, we'll go over the Pokemon Center ones, but if you look at this one, like $10, that's absolutely crazy. You probably could sell that on for like, what, say £7-8. If the ETB is going to be worth $45 at MSRP, and then more than likely we'll probably see what we got. We're Destined Rivals. Let's have a look what we got. Destined Rivals, because it's one of the newer sets. An ETB at market is coming in, wrong one. Oh no, we got it. Is coming in at $2.19. So really, we're not seeing the shift in value. Now, obviously, you're not going to see the shift in value for a Pokemon Center, as that obviously is coming in at $5.20 now, which is nuts that you probably bought them at $100, which is just crazy. And we've kind of gone through quite a few, and this is the point that I'm trying to make with the fact that if you don't get the ETB at the MSRP, which I think is then the price that I would happily open it at, I wouldn't buy an ETB at 200. I just don't, and open it as well. Like, I mean, I could buy it, but I'm definitely not opening it, because realistically the value is unfortunately exceeded the worth of risk. And if I just want this promo card, it's as cheap as anything anyway. Like, you're probably looking at like £8 at absolute max. You go through a lot of these. The Mimikyu, which want to say was one of the Paldean Fates. It could have been. I actually can't remember which one this came out of. But again, it's 12 at an absolute maximum. The set's been out. We're not getting any more reprints. Obsidian Flames, again, 7. I know that's heavy value, but you'd probably be looking at 10, 12. And even when you look at the Prismatic, realistically, like, the card itself, like, it's a stunning Eevee. But you've got it at 14. Now, yes, this is where a lot of people were obviously buying it in the hundreds at £2 to £5 to maybe £6, knowing that it probably go up to 10 or 15 at an absolute maximum for right now. And it has done that, so you are making the margin on it in terms of guaranteed. But realistically, if you are just wanting one, it is like £10. It's better than looking at a Prismatic. Like, the Destined Rival is 1. I'd imagine the Prismatic ETB is absolutely through the roof. Like, we are looking at, okay, maybe not. Prismatic. I mean, that doesn't mean you can get it at that. That just means that there's one there. 161. I mean, fairs. I wouldn't have had Destined Rivals as more than that, personally. You got 540 on, obviously, the Prismatic Pokemon Center ETB, but okay, I mean, live and learn. That's an interesting one. Victini, another great one. Obviously, a big box in itself, starting to come down. We're seeing it as the lowest at 6. More than likely will come down again. And I believe, as we do go, this is kind of now where we start to see a bit more of the value. Obviously, the Pokemon Center exclusives are only in the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB that you can only get on the website, and they are insta-sold, because quite clearly, like, we look at say if we look at Perfect Order now, like obviously we've kind of gone through that one. We look at Perfect Order's Pokemon Center. You already got it at 130. The set itself is considered a miss set as such. Like, I mean, I personally think, I don't think you could really have that much of a miss set. Like, if we go back to another miss set, like, I'm interested to see some of them. So say another miss set was probably like a Paradox Rift. Wasn't necessarily the big one going into it. We've got, I know we had 2 ETBs, but you got 186. So already you're kind of going above and beyond on that one. And I think Perfect Order possibly is a little bit better still. And you got 163. Let's see the likes of Temporal Forces, because it does show you that they're not always guaranteed to be like 500-600, but you are always going to be in the green with it. This had 2 as well. What are these coming in at? Pokemon Center 189. So if then we go one more, what other set would have been another? Because I think they are going to be the ones that I'd consider. What about us? Yeah, what about a Stellar Crown? I know they're not necessarily panic selling. 161, so I mean they're reasonable, but then you go into the likes of a Surgeon Sparks. I think that's probably then where you're really seeing the value, I imagine. Wrong one. Okay, 274. I mean, that's very interesting to see Destined Rivals to be so high then. Maybe I have to do a little video on this, because it's just interesting to see why Destined Rivals is like 550 then. I mean, it could just be that there's only one on there, so they're not actually that price. I'd have to do more digging, but it's always interesting to see. And these cards, to be honest, do hit a pretty high value in themselves. Looking at a lot of them, they are all in very, very good values, but the problem is you are also paying a premium when it comes to the actual box itself, unless you are buying it at market. If you're buying it at MSRP, if you're getting it from the very start and getting it from kind of like the Pokemon Center themselves, then obviously you're going to do pretty well on this promo card. Personally, for me, it doesn't make a difference. You'd normally get like a little Pokemon Center stamp there. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan. Like, it doesn't bother me. That's it. So you get that basically. And with the normal ETB, you just don't get it. So it isn't necessarily the biggest thing in the world for me, but you look at a few of these cards and think, okay, well, they are coming in at a pretty big value. We still have some cards, obviously, here. We won't just spend all the time on the Pokemon Center, but you still have some cards here with obviously like the was it the Ultra Premium Collect? Was it the Ultra? Yeah, it might have been actually for the Umbreon and Espeon. I don't know. We'll kind of just skip for a few of these promo cards just in general. We have got the Scarlet and Violet one here. This always interesting as well. Sometimes the ETB can be decent. Like, this is just a standard Snorlax going into it. Obviously the 109 value increase, which was always going to be the case. A 151. The Snorlax is impeccable. So there always will be some nice ones going into it. We also have then, I don't know where this came from, so leave a comment down below. Which card is this? Like, when is this came out? I don't actually know what set or like what product this actually came out of. And I was pretty hot on it for the Scarlet and Violet promos. I might even have it, but I don't remember seeing it in my collection. We then have the Teal Mask Ogerpon. I think that was Twilight. Again, kind of values there, but it's just another standard one going into it. You look at the near mint instead, 25. Like, we're seeing a bit of up and down. And really, with the main ones we're going to be looking at for the ETBs, you've got obviously the Ultra Premium Collection. That's naturally going to be a very up and down card again. Whether we see in September it start to go up once more, it will be more once the kind of the products are starting to run out a little bit more. You've obviously got the Iron Bundle at 31. The Fluttermane, which, again, I don't know this one personally. This one looks like it was around the Temporal, but I'm pretty sure I might not have got a Paradox Rift ETB. That might have been what it is. I just don't remember this card at all. I remember the kind of cards around it. But again, another kind of like 33. Starting to come down a little bit, which is always nice. Maybe a little bit of the hype is slowly coming off. We do have a massive hype pull. Everybody's going on this card, and it is stunning. Stevens Beldum obviously coming from the deck, and we also have, I believe, is it this one? No, we have, is it this one? So these were the two decks. In Japanese, you can get these if you really want, but they are obviously the Morpeko and Beldum. They are absolutely flying. Beldum more so than anything, as you see, but even looking at kind of like the first year, like from June, we are seeing huge increases already, and this is what sometimes promos can do. So instead of necessarily holding on to this sort of card, this is where somebody that has bought 15 of these at $10 a pop now is chucking them off at 33. It doesn't necessarily matter about what the peak is, because we saw this with many cards. We've seen it with a big one was in Black Bolt, I want to say, with this Seismitoad. Like, you knew full well, like this one, you knew full well that that card was not going to be on that value. Like, we saw it hit 200. It's an illustration rare. Like, people were buying this as quick as they can, and to be fair, we have gone up a little bit more, but we went down to 120. Like, realistically, if you've went like from maybe purchasing it for like 30 to 100 pounds before this massive boom hit, you're then interested to see you've sold it off at the 200. So there is a lot of like quick dump ones that sometimes do well, but again, that's a bit more risky in my opinion than kind of getting the proper ones, really. Obviously then from there we've got the Umbreon, always going to be a standard. Like I said, always good Pokemon, get a decent result. He did have a massive pre-sale. Really thought that this card was going to be through the moon. It's at least a solid value for right now. I'd maybe want it going a little bit cheaper if I'm being honest. We obviously then have the Zoroark coming in from Journey Together, another decent card. Seems like September was the one that's really put that hump in everywhere. And then we do have the 151s. These are two that I actually really have, which is nice to know with a lot of them. We've obviously got in the final year 181%. It was obviously coming in, when we can find it in near mint, that would be lovely. We got 193%. It was coming in at 13 to begin with, which I think is a steal in itself. For a Mewtwo, it's like, especially like, I don't think it's necessarily the greatest illustration, but it's still a Mewtwo regardless. Like, as a collection, you're going to need the Mewtwo. So now coming in at close to $50 is absolutely nuts, and that will obviously pair with the Mew EX, which I think this is a stunner. I could easily see this card being the absolute key on it, to be honest. And then if we go see if we can find it in the near mint, we've got 154 again from 30. So you could have bought both cards for what, $45, so say around £40. And now we've got both. We've got this one coming in at $80, so say 70, and then like I say, for nearly 50, which say we say 40, you're looking at a massive increase, £120 compared to 45. And this is why promos tend to have that very slippery slope where everybody just likes to have a look at them. Got a lot more of the Pokemon centers. Obviously, this is one of my more fan favorites. I love the Magneton, but I've got it in the normal. But then we do have the Kingdra. Like I said, we do have Kingdra, and then we do have the Greninja. Now, these just went through an absolute pop, 213%. I don't know why these are that high, in my opinion. Like, they're good cards, like, they were always going to be nice, but realistically a lot of people got these boxes, so I don't know quite why. Like, this box, I'm pretty sure Greninja was like a £30 £35 box. I want to say King Gambit was like 15, and I want to say this was about 20 to 25 MSRP. Obviously now we look at them, that is just absolutely nuts. We got this one as a light played, if we can find it again at near mint, coming in now at a whopping $76. I mean, it's just crazy. 227% now. I don't know why these have suddenly become insanely popular. I don't know if it might be the illustrator, if it's just how they've done. It's just nuts. And I think when you do look at the products that you can get these from, you go into Shrouded Fable. That was going to be the one. And to be honest, these were prior to it going absolute nuts. You could buy boxes of these. Like, they were available if you wanted them. Not the ETBs. We've got the packs themselves. So you've got like the King Gambit, that's the illustration case. Have we got this? So we got that one, $37 on its own. You've got 125 for the Kingdra and 142 for the Greninja. It's absolutely crazy. Like, to think as well, like, realistically, you've got the two Cosmo Hollows, and you got, what, like, I think 5 packs or 6 packs in there. I don't know what's the individual packs coming in at. 887. To be fair, it's above market, it's above MSRP for them, which is fair enough. Like, even the pack blisters are coming in at 32, which it just shows you that everything is up. Like quite literally everything is absolutely on the up. It's nuts. You got the ETB at 90. I mean, it's still reasonable, but you've obviously got the promo cards in there that are going to hit the numbers that you really want. We then also have the Pokemon Center Eevee. Now, obviously, when it comes to the Pokemon Centers of the top cards, they're always going to be a little bit better. We do have the Wobbuffet that we now know, if 550 is right for the Pokemon Center Destined Rivals, fair enough. Like, you basically need to find the Mewtwo in that box every single time. We do have a really nice Pikachu. I mean, this is a fan favorite. Again, you can get it cheaper. So this is the Pokemon exclusive. You can get it a lot cheaper when it comes to just the standard edition. So that is always going to be a nice one. It's a fan favorite, obviously. We do have the Charmander as well. This obviously coming in as the normal promo at 44. I think, annoyingly, this was one of the main ETBs that I didn't get to begin with. Like, I started kind of getting the booster boxes from, like, I want to say, like, Silver Tempest. We did a bit of Crown Zenith. We then got the base set. We got the next one. And then Obsidian, I just didn't get the ETB. I got packs. I might have even got a box of Obsidian, but I didn't get the ETB. And I don't know why, because now I've got to really look at this card and buy basically an ETB worth of a promo card. And this is just the normal one as well, which is just outrageous compared to the Pokemon Center exclusive, which is 219. Yeah, no thank you. So that kind of just shows you the level of that. Like, that's coming up at 46. It did go up to 246, which is just nuts for this in general. And then obviously the Snorlax was going to be one of the fan favorites. 283. It is a brand new peak for it, but there is obviously the number one when it comes to it, and that is going to be the Pikachu with the grey felt hat. This is obviously the Van Gogh Pikachu that came out during the Amsterdam Museum and Van Gogh's Museum, and you could get one every time you went round. Of course, that went nuts, and of course, the value on it has gone absolutely crazy. We've got 157 increase from 340. We are now looking at the final. If you bought all of these here, like the 15, the 17, you have made, what, nearly 500 a card. That is just crazy when it comes to the grey felt. We knew that this is obviously going to be the big one. Kind of looking through the Mega Evolution kind of promo cards, there is going to be some that are very similar in that aspect. There will always be some promo cards that just do well. If you look at the high right now, we know that any of the kind of like the random staff cards or stuff like that, of course they're going to do crazy, but you got N Zekrom at the moment. That's obviously going to do pretty well with Ascended Heroes. Pre-release staff stuff, we haven't really seen anything too nuts. I do think these will be very interesting. The 30th celebration, they are going to be interested by the end of the year once like everything's gone from them, but I'm hoping they keep the value down for them and do really try and hold on to as much value they can get from each card, so they can really try and just produce as many as possible. And then obviously if you do go further back into kind of like the Sword and Shield promo sorts cards, again there's always going to be them kind of top ones. Naturally they do become the World Championships. The staff releases, we've got the Pikachu, I don't actually know what that one is, but 1,500's nuts. Special Delivery Pikachu, we obviously saw the same with Charizard, and then obviously the Bidoof as well, which is just mega value in itself for a card that quite literally was just a competition side of stuff. So absolutely loads to go with, and we've got a Gengar at 91 as well. I mean, I don't know the backstory behind that, but I would love to get to know it. 193% increase. Wow. But that is going to be the promos for right now. Let me know down below, are you sitting on any? Are you looking for a promo specifically, or are you just really looking at sets? Leave the comments down below, and I'll catch you for the next one. Peace.